Hi, thanks for joining me today. This is a short video. It's going to talk about how to do a perfect plank and a push-up. With me I have Jody, who does everything perfectly. So she's a perfect example of doing a push-up and a plank perfectly. Okay, so first, push-ups and planks are very challenging. They can be very challenging. So we're going to talk about some modifications for them as well. The perfect plank, the anatomy of a perfect plank is your low back is relaxed, and so you're really holding yourself up from your abdominal, from your core. I like to say in Pilates, when I'm teaching Pilates, that your body, can you hold this for a second while I talk? That your body is like a suspension bridge. This is one part of the bridge, and this is the other part of the bridge, the feet and the hands. In the middle, if there wasn't support there, what would happen to the bridge? It would sag, and that's extremely dangerous. So you want to hold yourself up. Oh, didn't we see this on TV? I can't remember who did this, but even think of putting like a broomstick on your back, all the way down from your head to your feet, and every part of your body should be touching the broomstick. I think I might have saw that on Dr. Oz, I can't remember. Pulling your rib cage up, really lifting up from that center. That's the most important part of the plank. Go ahead and come down for a second. To make sure that your back is protected, which is the #1 complaint that people have in doing planks or push-ups, is they can't do it because they feel in their low back. Well, that is the most important part, is the abdominal connection. Go ahead and come out to a plank for a second. Now, if you're just in the beginning stages of doing planks and push-ups, what you can do is come down to your knees. So you keep a perfect plank like this, but now you're just taking some pressure off of your low back by putting your knees on the floor. And so you can just hold like that until you can get strong enough to come up to a full plank. Then come down, knees. Then from that position, what I would like you to do to step it up is one leg at a time. So just pick up one knee, hold through the core, and then switch, pick up the other knee, good. And then when you're ready from there, then you pick up both knees, making sure everything is perfectly straight, and you can hold that plank. Your heels are pushing over your toes. And so I want you to think of pushing backwards over those heels and then come down. Now let's talk about the shoulders. And that's the second major complaint that people have when doing planks and push-ups. Shoulder position. You want to think of rounding through your upper back and keeping a nice puffy back. Okay, so you're puffing your back up to the ceiling. Make sure your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. Even if they're wide, they're still on the same line of your shoulders. They're not up. That is really dangerous. Go ahead and try and show that. And I want you to hurt yourself. But if your hands are too far forward towards your face, can you go ahead and show that? Just even a little bit more. Let's exaggerate. That's dangerous on your shoulder joint. So don't do that. And then it's really hard on the back, right? Mm-hmm. So keep your hands right underneath your shoulders so you feel as if your arm is a leg and you're standing on your shoulders, on your arms, and holding your shoulders up. So then your shoulders become the strength part of a plank and a push-up, and not so much in your arms and your chest, but it's more from the shoulders. You're rounding through that upper back, you're widening through the shoulder blades, and you're really pulling in that core here. Your neck is nice and long. This is the other major complaint, drop your head, is that. Ew, 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 ew. Keep your head lifted, yes. So think of your neck as nice and long like that, beautiful. Your chin is down, your neck is straight, it's not arched up like that. So don't look forward, look straight down. Yeah, you could take a break. Look straight down, maybe up in front of your fingertips, maybe about 4 or 5 inches, and that's the perfect eye gaze for the plank to keep your head in a good position. Okay, and then the other thing I want to talk about is, I'm blanking on what else I want to talk about. Thank you. Push up. So starting from the perfect plank position, once you have a perfect plank position, then you can do a push-up. So come on out. So you're keeping this perfect plank position, and all you're going to do is lower down to the floor, lift it back up. Lower down to the floor, lift it back up, and you don't lose any stability anywhere. So it's whole piece down, whole piece up. Perfect. And then stop it right there. Come to your knees. Show a couple on the knees. So tuck in the tailbone under. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the tailbone. Good. And now come down and push up. Good. And standing on the shoulders. So you're feeling the back really work, and the armpits. More about the armpit, not about the top of the shoulder. The tailbone. And then come up, take a break. Part of the low back and the abdominal connection is using the quadriceps and the glutes just a little bit to tuck the tailbone. So when you use the glutes, that helps put you in a little rounded low back position so you can tuck like that. What you don't want to do, especially in a push-up plank position, is lift the tailbone up to the ceiling. So you want to keep it tucked under, keep the glutes involved, and that's going to help keep your low back out of the equation as well. So come down to your knees and do a few push-ups on your knees. Please. You're doing fantastic. Make sure you stand right underneath your shoulders. Yep. And then down to the floor. Yes, perfect, just like that. Oh yes, we already did this. Good, elbows out to the side. Nice. And then don't cheat yourself and think by lowering your head down further than your body that you're actually going down further, right? It's the whole body down, whole body up. Okay, go ahead and sit back. Nice work. Good. So hopefully that was a little bit of a good, little primer on how to do a perfect push-up and plank, because they're very important to stay safe. So these cues will help you stay safe and keep you strong in your push-up and plank. Thank you. Hi, there were a couple things I forgot to say in that video, so let's go over just a few more things. First, your elbows are very important that they're never locked in a plank. So notice I have very hyperextended elbows, so you always want to keep your elbows soft. Second, your wrist position is very key as well. You do not want to turn your arms inward like this so that your elbows stick out to the side. You want to keep your fingers facing forward so your thumbs almost line up with one another and your fingertips are facing forward. A lot of people have issues in plank and doing push-ups because of the wrist position. It's a little painful on the wrist. If it's just strenuous, I would say keep going with it, but if it's painful, then we have to look at some other options. And those would be trying to prop up your heel of your hand while you're doing plank and push-ups, and that might give you a little bit more comfort in the wrist. For example, you can just roll up a mat. Now my mat is really thick, so washcloths or even rolled up socks underneath just the heel of the hand, not the fingertips, so that the fingertips are off. The angle of the wrist then is increased, and so that's what helps the wrist for a lot of people. I find that works. So you can play around with that if holding plank for a while, because we do hold plank for quite some time sometimes, and it just gets tiring. It bothers my wrist too. They just get tired after a while, but push through it, because that's a very important part as we get older that you want to keep strong as your wrist. I would discourage you from ever going up on your fists like this, because that's a very delicate and vulnerable way to have your wrist. It's very easily just to kind of roll your wrist like that. So I would discourage you from doing that. I've seen a lot of people do this. And try to play with more propping the heels of your hands up to get a more comfortable wrist position. The elbows, always keep them soft. So never lock them out like that, just keep them soft. And then to work up to a plank, the last thing that I wanted to say was you can always come down to an elbow plank, even if that would be one modification too for the wrist. If that is too much and anything that you do for propping the wrist up doesn't work, come down to your elbows, because you can still get a good abdominal connection work, quadriceps, everything on your elbows. So all the same principles apply. You keep your shoulders right over your elbows. Where's my mat? I'm going to be off my mat. That's okay. Your shoulders right off over your elbows, and you're just going to hold plank like this. Think of glutes. Think of lifting the rib cage diaphragm up, so you're pulling up from here and you're tucking your tailbone down, lifting up, puffing up between those shoulder blades and just rounding. I should scooch myself forward just a little bit, and you're really feeling this underneath your armpit and down that side. Remember, we're not here. That's a strain on those shoulders. Pull those elbows underneath you and stand on them just like you would your hands or your legs. So those are the couple of things that I wanted to say. I wanted to make sure that you had that knowledge with you so you can make good choices. Thank you.